we're doing it right now.
Yeah, we're doing it right now.
Okay, so here we go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hi, Zach.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Bottom Line Podcast, where we say what we mean and we mean what we say, because at the core of everything that is, was, and forever will be, there will always be the bottom line. Today's guest is Miss Hawa Abdul of Hawa Cosmetics. Hawa is a creator. Okay, she's a makeup artist, also the creator of Hawa Cosmetics, and she's also a model and an actress. If you follow her on social media, you've probably seen her on Channel 7, you've probably seen her on Channel 4, modeling, and also selling her cosmetic line, Hawa Cosmetics. So Hawa, thanks for taking the time.
I am so happy to be here with you today.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to hang out with me on this Bottom Line Podcast. And the reason I reached out to you specifically is because there are so many sides of your business that I see that you're able to do, and it also almost looks effortless the way you have it on social media. There's so many sides of the business. And during this time, especially during COVID, it's really hard for people to pivot, right? But it seems to me like pivoting is like just what you do on a regular basis. Like you're able to do the marketing, you're able to do the selling, you're able to educate people about the products. There's so many different sides of the business, and it's like a natural thing for you. So how have you been able to, get through this pandemic, first and foremost? How has the pandemic been treating you?
Well, the pandemic has been an ultimate, crisis for everyone, and I just found I get really bored fast. I'm a multitasker by heart, and I need to do something always, and I need to be creative always. And the pandemic slowed everything down, but it kind of gave me a chance to recreate and relaunch. Recreate and relaunch, and really gave me time to get into my thoughts, to get into how people are going to be doing business and how people have been doing business, but now it's really going to be something that'll be a bit more solid.
Yeah. So I want people to get the understanding, like what you're doing is crazy. It's hard to do, even though you make it seem like it's simple. And this is, with the coaching business, I get this from a lot of people because they're trying to do is scale, right?
Right.
And a lot of people are running a single person operation as like a solopreneur, but then you have small business owners who have an actual team behind them. They have somebody in their marketing department. They have somebody making their calls. They have an admin. They've got all the key players they need, but they still have a hard time scaling, right? They still have a hard time getting the right clients, targeting their ideal clients. They have a hard time marketing their products. They have a hard time, training their sales guys, right? So what you're doing is actually, you have an international reach. Isn't that right? Your cosmetic line has an international reach, right? How are you able to capture an international audience? How are you able to do that?
Well, it was, I actually have worked in cosmetics for a really long time, and just knowing how to communicate with individuals, because it's really about communicating at the end of the day, knowing how to pick your audience and target the audience, so I've picked the audience, I've targeted the audience, and honestly, I can, the way I communicate with the individuals and kind of set up how we're going to launch things or how things are going to be done. I feel like it's just a sense of communication,
Right.
But being able to do these things, I've actually mastered the masters that I've been around,
Oh, wow.
And I've watched and I've taken notes, and I've really taken a lot of notes on every person that has poured into my life.
Right. So you're still a student.
Yes. Oh, I'm always a student.
Right.
I'm always a student. I'm always a student. I'm always learning, keeping my mind fresh, and just trying to get to the next level,
Yeah. So you I like what you said, being a student and always learning, because it's like you never really have all the answers, right? There's no way you can have all the answers. But let's go into like your target demographic, right? Specifically, are women, right?
Yeah.
Fans of makeup, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
so I got to get to like really what motivated you to start your own cosmetic line, because that's not
Okay.
easy to do. That's first of all, it sounds like it could be extremely time consuming, right?
Well, knowing what I know about makeup, meaning like when it comes to being in a field for such a long time and loving what you do,
Yeah.
because I love what I do. So it's almost like being a personal shopper.
Huh.
And is it really time consuming? You love what you do. You love shopping, you know? So when it comes to makeup, I love makeup. I love colors. I love texture. I love how it's applied on women's skin. So every piece of the process I'm in love with, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
So it makes it really easy to apply the skill, you know, and then being able to work around so many different diversity of culture of women, you know? So
Yeah.
I have so many people that I've worked with on many different levels and many different cultures and backgrounds and ethnicities
Right.
that have really gave me a head start on everything, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So I'm able to kind of, you know, put things together. I know what this culture likes.
Right.
You know, I know this culture likes their skin to be brighter. I know that culture wants their skin to be more matte. I know
Right.
this culture likes more of a glow. Like I know the inside scoops
Right.
on what women are looking for, or men for that chance as well, you know,
Okay.
for
Yeah.
that matter as well.
Yeah, see, just to hear you talk about it, like your voice just went on a whole different pitch, and there's like this level of excitement that I hear
Oh,
coming out of
yeah.
you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like there's no way this is time consuming for you. This is exciting for you. It's something
Yes.
that you
Yeah.
like. But I think the
Yeah.
underlying at the core of it is like you love people. It sounds to me like you love people,
I
right?
absolutely do. Actually, you know, when I was a kid, I used to think to myself, because I come from a really big family.
Okay.
So for a little while, I didn't like people at all. I mean, because
Right.
I'm one out of seven kids. My
One out of
mother is
seven.
one out of
Wow.
seven. My mother is one out of 12. So that's
Wow.
just even her side of the family. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I come from a huge family.
Yeah.
So when I sit there and I sit back, I'm like, oh no, I can do without the people, you know?
Right.
But then I realize in business, you know, as you get older, and not even as you get older, as soon as I hit like 18, about 18, I knew that you need people in order to get the things that you want. Meaning
Right.
if you have a business, you can't just run this business by yourself. You know, you
Right.
can't be the star of the show alone,
Right.
you know?
Right. Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
yeah, so you need great people beside you to create this, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. So I like that you
Yeah.
said that, because it's not, even though, on social media you might look like a single person operation, that's not the case, right?
Oh
Like you
no,
have a
no, no,
good
no, no.
team, you have a good support system behind you, and that's what you're talking about now, right?
See during the pandemic, it actually started off with me just doing my thing,
Uh-huh.
you know, but as things start to scale and start to move forward, and then there's a lot of orders here, a lot of different things that I have to get done on emails and setups. I have certain assistants and things of that nature that help me with that, you
Right,
know, because you can't be everywhere all the time. And
right.
there's another key in my car, and I just hope it goes. Please, God. Yes, it left. Oh
Yeah,
my God. I did a YouTube video,
yeah,
and it was a huge bee inside the car. One of my
yeah,
girlfriends told me it was good luck. I beg to differ, but
right.
I just want to kind of walk away safe. This one's out.
Yeah,
Okay.
nice. Yeah. Okay. So you have an affinity towards people. You like people, right?
I
And
love
if,
people.
if you're in the makeup space, there's something about seeing women shine at their brightest, something like that, right? So
Hmm.
like, okay, to really get down to how you captured your target demographic, right? And how you're able to get this international reach. Let's go to how you started out. I think your first shop was or not your first shop, but you did have a shop like on
Yeah.
Nostrand, maybe on Fulton
Yeah.
Avenue around there, right?
On Fulton. Yeah.
On
On Fulton
Fulton.
and Fort Greene.
Okay.
Yeah. In Fort Greene, Brooklyn.
Okay, what was that like? Like, you got to deal with overhead, you got to deal with expenses, you got to deal with people coming in and out, you got to deal with just people, right? And
Right.
maybe people, and I just, I want to show the other side, because you make it sound like, oh, I love people, they're the best, I'm here to take care
Right.
of them, right? Then
Yes.
you have people who are like, no, I'm entitled, I want you to do this for me, and this is what I'm
Right.
used to, pamper me, right?
Right.
And you probably get that. And, you know, when you walk into, I used to be a personal trainer. So when I was a personal trainer, you know, you know, you got to, there's nothing, there's nothing worse than somebody who doesn't want to lose weight
Right.
and they don't want to do the work, right?
Right.
But they want you to just sculpt them. And they're like, you know, they're
Mhm.
entitled. They got this sense of entitlement. Well, you work for
Yeah.
me, you know, you should be able to pay me, or I pay you, so you should be able to train me to do what I want. And it's like,
Right.
well, no, you have a bad diet, you have bad habits. There are certain
Right.
things you need to do, right? So talk to
Mhm.
me about what that was like when you had a brick and mortar, you were actually dealing with people were walking into your store, and
Mhm.
they probably were not they probably weren't as realistic about their own expectations, and you probably had to show them and educate them about what's
Mhm.
good for them, what's better for them, and
Yeah.
so on.
Yeah. Mhm. Well, dealing with clients like that inside of the boutique, it's just like dealing with clients inside of a major cosmetic department store, you
All
know?
right. Yep.
It's the same thing, but now they're in my house, you know? But I still feel the same way when I work for a major cosmetic store, that they're still in my house. Soon as they step into the counter, you're
Right.
in my house, you know?
Right.
And I have to make you feel comfortable. I know that you are here to first, you're here because you need something. You need a product. You're here for a reason. When you step into the store, you're here because you want a product.
Yep.
So I'm here to service you, no matter what your attitude is, no matter how you feel. I'm here to bring you up. The reason why you probably walked in was so that you can rise. You know what I'm saying? So you can have just as much as fun. Because when people shop because they're looking for pleasure. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? A lot of people don't need half the things they shop for,
Right. Right.
especially women.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
women, honestly, we have about 5 red lipsticks already that we don't wear.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you
You
say
know?
that because it doesn't sound good coming from a guy. So I'm gonna let you say that. Just
Yes,
go ahead
yes.
and
I mean,
yeah.
no, I have to say that.
Right.
But that shows you we are emotional shoppers, you know? We're emotional shoppers, and it's a good thing, but they want to feel you. You know what I'm saying? They want to feel the person that they're spending money with. They want to actually know that there's a person that's behind the brand.
Yeah.
That makes it even better for women, you
Yeah.
know, because they feel they're supporting another woman who
Sure.
works hard, you
Sure.
know?
Okay, yeah, I like that. So let's go back a little bit because you said when you were a kid, you were one of seven. So at some
Mhm.
point, you didn't want to be around people, right?
Right.
So I think of when I was making eyeglasses, and there were certain people that, you know, even this frame here, for instance,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
It's a fashionable frame, but it's
They're
not.
nice. Did you make those?
No, I don't make eyeglasses anymore, but
No?
I still have some, you know, ideas, and I have a sense of,
Okay.
you know, what I like, right?
Okay,
So
yeah.
the reason I'm saying that is because this frame is not ideal for a lot of other prescriptions for farsighted
Okay.
people because the lenses might be too thick. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
for you, when you're dealing with, because what I'm trying to get to is how you were able to identify from your customer base your ideal
Mhm.
clients, the kind of people
Mhm.
that you felt like you could service the most, and that
Oh no,
you
my thing is this, I service everyone. I service
everyone.
everyone. So I can deal with everyone. The
Aha.
worst of the worst, I've had so many situations where, let's say I work with someone and they're like, oh, this person is so difficult. I promise you you can't get with it. Like, this
Yeah.
person is really difficult.
Yeah.
And actually I kind of laugh at that, because being in a business for, honestly, no, I have to be honest.
Yeah. Talk to
Being
me.
in a business for over 20 years, I should have mastered customer service by now. You know what I'm saying? So I have mastered how to tap into individuals to kind of get them to kind of see my way somewhat, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And
I
and
like
just
that.
and honestly, and it's not really about getting them to see my way. It's me seeing them for who they are and
I like that.
accepting that.
I
You
like
know what
that.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I accept them, and in the interim, they accept me, and then we're good.
Yeah. So when did that, okay, so like when did that happen that when you were like a kid and you were like, well, I don't mind being around people now and I like people and I want to help people become the best version of themselves, right? If you're a kid and you're like, well, I don't want to be around people, how old were you when you realized, no, I want to help people? It doesn't matter who they are. I want to help them. When did that happen to you?
I realized when it was time for me to make my own money. You
Ah,
know, I realized it then, where I said, you know what, I want to become independently wealthy. You know what I'm saying? I want to make a name for myself. I don't want to have to be a housewife that's just relying on, you know, the home,
Yeah.
the head of the home for this, you
Right.
know? So
Right.
I want to be independent as a woman and use the skills that I have to make people happy, you
Okay.
know, to invite people in.
Nice. Nice. That's deep. That's really deep. It's like, so once you realize you wanted to make money for yourself, you wanted to be financially independent, financially
Right.
responsible, self-sufficient. That's when you
Right.
decided you were going to just help anybody you can and see things the way they see it. Right.
Well, of course, I read a lot of books. So
Okay.
I live in self-help books, you know.
Okay. Okay.
This is my like Napoleon Hill, you name it, I'm
Yeah.
on it, you
So,
know.
yep.
So I really live by by the laws, you know.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I know that, again, in order to achieve certain things, there's a move you have to make that kind of
Yeah.
works for everyone.
Okay. So that's interesting, right? Because a lot of businesses will cater to a certain demographic or particular
Mm-hmm.
demographic, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
not like
Mm-hmm.
they're not catering to all, but they know how to cater to that specific demographic, right? So like me
Mm-hmm.
personally, I'll give you my experience. When I was an optician and I was making
Mm-hmm.
glasses like these, I would love to work
Correct.
with people my age. Why?
Yes.
They had a better sense of fashion. Versus
Right.
like the older population, when I was making glasses, I was like, oh gosh, they're gonna micromanage this whole process because they wear
Right.
bifocals. They're gonna have all the questions, and at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, they're gonna question my ability to make them the glasses that they want. So I was like,
Right.
I told at the time, I'm a kid coming out of college, right? And I told
Mm-hmm.
the head lab tech, I said, listen, I don't want to make any of those prescriptions. You know what I mean? I just want it because I'm fast. For me to be able to
Right.
do the regular prescriptions that are just like
Mm-hmm.
thin lenses, let me do
Right.
that. I'm good at that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not good at the pressure coming from these people. So there,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to like go through that customer base and identify my
Mm-hmm.
ideal clients, and I was more productive that way, right?
Right.
You're in a unique space, I guess, where you can say no. I know people
Mm-hmm.
so well.
Right.
I want to help people so much that it doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
who they are. Bring me your toughest. I want to be
Right.
able to service them, right?
Right.
So
Right.
now, okay, so somebody who's struggling right now with
Mm-hmm.
identifying maybe communication styles that
Right.
they're not having good conversations. There's a lot of, they don't know how to handle objections. They don't know how
Mm-hmm.
to handle rejection is the worst,
Right.
right?
Right.
Rejection is like you take that personally at some
You
point,
know, a lot of people
right?
do, and they really shouldn't. They should still keep on knocking until they get yes, you
Yeah, so
know?
give me more of that,
But it's,
right? Give me more of
yeah,
that, Howard. More of that. More
right,
words of wisdom for people who don't know how to deal with that, how to combat rejection and objection and like objections.
well, again, people are people. So at the end of the day, the same way I want success, you want success.
Right.
You know, the same way maybe at 3 o'clock I'm hungry, you're probably hungry at the end of the day. Do you
Right.
speak a different language than I do? You may.
Yeah.
You may speak a different language, but at the end of the day, you still want to eat just like I do.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So we are all human, you know, but you have the male and you have the female. Thank God I have 4 brothers. I was raised around guys. I have sisters as well. So
Right.
I kind of know how to deal with men, and I know how to deal with women. Now I have a mother, so I know how to deal with women that are of a certain age.
Yep.
I have seniors, so I know how to care for seniors, you know?
Yep.
And then I have teenagers where I'm just actually opening up my ear to now. So the teenagers is this new generation where now I have to start speaking their language, but not really dipping too low,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
So I kind of really have to really kind of just really put my ear to the ground and kind
Yeah.
of really hear what they're saying,
Yeah.
so that I can service them as well, you know?
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Talk to me about how people respond to you, because you're the expert, right? When it comes to like what you're doing, cosmetics, shades and so on, right? So you're the expert. How do people respond to you when you make a suggestion or a recommendation? Are they open to it, or are they sometimes like combative?
People respond well because I've had a long time of being in the industry. I mean, it's been way over a decade, you know,
Wow.
of
Yeah.
experience. So, I mean, it's been like 20 years of experience. So with that said, and I've worked for real major cosmetic lines. You know, I've worked in Neiman Marcus, Bergdorf Goodman, Bloomingdale, Saks, you name it, Carlisle Hotel, like I've done it.
Yeah.
So I've worked with a lot of different individuals in different places. So when it comes to relating to individuals on how to and what's good for them, they understand that I do know, you know, I've been around a little while, so I can I know what works for women.
Yeah.
And their skin types and conditions.
Okay. So since you have like such an international, client base, right? And you're
Mm-hmm.
pretty much, you're culturally diverse, right? How do you
Yes.
think social media impacts our worldview? Like, how do you think social media plays a part in how we see women, how we see sales,
Mm-hmm.
how we see any of it from your perspective?
Well, social media is a huge part of it right now. Social media is everything. It's the way to tap in, you know? So without social media, then you're back into a store, you know? You're back
Right.
on a block,
Right.
you know? And even if you're a Saks, a Bloomingdale's, or Bergdorf, or a little boutique,
Yeah.
you are on the block if you own a store. There are only four walls, and they're only projected figures that you can come across. When you are doing business via social media, it's a much grander scale because you're tapping into everyone, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone in all those hometowns that you wouldn't be able to even get into or know about. You're tapping into those places and people are getting to know you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I like
And the
that.
brand.
I like that. So you got to have it as an additional tier. So did you officially close the brick and mortar down, or
Oh
are you
yeah, it's been
working at it?
closed for like a long time now. It's been
Okay.
closed a long time. The relaunch was just really something that I've been thinking about, well, wanting to master social media.
Yeah.
So I said, once I mastered social media and how people think and how people react to products and women and makeup, then I'll be able to kind of like put it out there, you know, because that's how I really wanted to do business again. I didn't want to open up another store, another boutique, you know, just
Gotcha.
to have my name on an awning, as
Yeah.
some of my friends would say.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Did you close it down because of because you were able to grow so fast and get to more people, or did you close it down because of the pandemic?
No, no. I was closed. I was closed for like about like I would say like 8 years, could be like 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
And I started working for cosmetic lines again, but the pandemic kind of rebirthed everything. You know, actually I've been sitting on my line and sitting on the whole idea for about maybe a year, like almost a year and a half now,
Yeah.
but I needed a time to kind of launch it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I needed the right time, and this was the right time.
Gotcha. Okay. So,
Yeah.
what's crazy too is a lot of people are scared right now to actually go virtual and digitize their businesses and have an e-commerce business. They don't know how to do it. That's a lot of where
Right.
the fear comes from. And the other part
Right.
of it is that they have to feel, they have to learn. There's this whole learning curve now, right? And it takes time to learn all of that. You know what I
It
mean?
does. It
So,
does. And I spent almost all those 8 years, I've been mastering YouTube, the language of YouTube, the language of the new generation and how they speak and how they connect
yeah,
and how they spend money and
right.
how makeup is being used, you know? So I said to myself, wow, like people are not walking into stores the way they used to, you know?
Right,
They're
right.
they're really not. They're not. And with that said, I said, you know, I really wanted to make sure that I would be able to get a piece of what's the new thing that's happening, what
Right.
people are doing now, and they're very successful in what they're doing via social media.
Yeah, yeah. How'd you get into the modeling? How'd you get into that?
Modeling. I love modeling. I've been in modeling for a little while now. I wanted to model since I was like 18, but maybe actually much younger. I've always looked at the Victoria's Secret shows and stuff
Right,
like that, and
right.
always admired the women there and just admired the beauty, you know?
Right.
And just admired beauty in women, period, because I come from a cosmetic background, you know?
Right.
But I've always felt that I was too short, you know, because I'm 5'4".
Are you really? Okay, I can't tell in your
Yes.
pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 5'4". So I always thought I was too short, but then something happened where I got connected, you know, I kind of got connected and in tune with myself, and a lot of people were giving me really good energy on modeling. And next thing you know, certain doors start opening. My first modeling, actually, the first thing that I've ever done, I actually modeled for Beyonce. So yeah. And it was in her, I did like showroom modeling and makeup at the not makeup at the magic shows. I did modeling like in Vegas and stuff like that for like 2 years, and then after that I started doing other things. But with the new stuff that I've been doing, meaning like the past 3 years, NBC, ABC, and the other networks, it was more like I was kind of like discovered. Someone walked into the store and she was like, "I'm the real deal here.
Yeah.
I want you to come down, and I would like to see you model," you know, and and it happened from there.
So it's like you have two babies and you got to choose which baby you love the most, and it's like you haven't been able to decide which baby you love the most because you still do both. You have your cosmetic
it's the
line.
same. It's the
Is
same.
it really? Is it really?
Yeah, because I'm the face of my brand, so I'm modeling at the same time, you know. So it's really the same. It's all the same. Yeah.
Well, your modeling is more like branding, pretty much, with Hawa Cosmetics, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can like model your own stuff, but then you I also see you like on social media, like you're on, like you said, you're on ABC or NBC or whatever it was, and you were modeling clothes, right?
Yes.
So how do you, because you're busy and you don't seem like you're stressed out at all, but you're modeling clothes, you're modeling your cosmetic line, you're selling your cosmetic line. How do you find the time to do all of that? A lot of people saying to me, you know, I don't have time. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. You know what I mean? And you're doing all of it. How do you manage that time?
Well, actually, I wake up really early. So I get a real head start on my day. So I'm an early riser. I wake up like 5:45 in the morning, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, and I get things started so that I could have a natural human day, you know. I don't have to activate like a zombie. But I really I love what I do, so it doesn't feel like I'm working, you know, like putting on clothes. I love to get dressed. Who doesn't love to get dressed? I mean, I love to get dressed.
I can tell you know,
yeah, I love clothes. I love makeup. I'm a woman to my heart, you know. I love every girly thing that could be possibly imagined. So so I'm all with it. I'm with it. You know, so it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like I'm just getting ready.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so like what's crazy too is, okay, most people will use a product line, right? And then they'll, you know, swear by that product line. But you went the other route and you created your own product line. Right? So what inspired you to do that? Like, how did you figure out, you know what, I don't like, was it that you didn't like the makeup that was out there or something, and then you just said, I can do this better? What inspired you to come out with Hawa Cosmetics?
What inspired me was that I used to be a top producer of many lines. So being a top producer, that means that I was going to the right products to touch and feel to sell. You know what I'm saying? I knew what women wanted. So I took just everything that I knew were top sellers and ideas of textures that worked, and knew what would work for the skin and how it sat on the skin, and just put that together, you know? So it's almost like I went shopping again, you know, but again, it's different because it's a universal thing. I'm actually shopping for many women. It feels like I'm a personal shopper when I created my line, you know? So I went in there thinking of all women and saying, you know what? Okay, so the woman who has many blemishes, this is the makeup she's gonna need. The woman who wants really lightweight makeup, this is what she needs. The woman who's scared of a red lip. And it's funny because I actually have a promotion going on right now, or this is my Yeah, I have like a promotion going on right now where I have a lot of women wearing red lips. Now, for a woman, for a man, he may not understand. He might think a red lip is pretty typical. You know what I'm saying? Red lip, that's easy. And all women wear red lips. But no, a lot of women are afraid of a red lip, you
What
know?
is that?
Because it's so bold. It's so bold. But I've mastered the art of knowing the color line that works on every skin tone. So this one red actually works on all skin tones.
Wow.
It really honestly doesn't look bad on one person.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So okay, you were inspired by a need. Is that safe to say that you're inspired by?
Oh, it's always a need. Yes,
Okay.
It's always a need because I have to cater to the need in order for it to do anything, you know? So the need of women to want simplistic makeup, to want makeup that looks smooth on the skin, and to just want to look beautiful, you know? And to want to be attached to an individual and not attached to a woman who wants to relate to a person who sells a product.
Gotcha.
Because again, us women, we could have a line called Bubble, but if there's nobody who is behind Bubble, then we don't really care to support it for a long period of time. You know what I'm saying?
Bubble, yes, abstract.
Yeah, it's just it's just Bubble, you know. Yeah. But if it's a person, they're like, oh, this person I can identify with, you know.
Yep.
I can identify with this woman, and this woman identifies with me, and she understands me when she's sitting here telling me what color works for me. She really gets it. This is not a robot. This is not a mass room of people guessing who never had experience, you know?
Men are funny, right? Because like when you put 2 men in a room or 3 men in a room, it's like automatic competition, right? But you put 2 or 3 women in a room and they're like friends instantly. They don't even know each other. They never met each other. They just automatically become friends. So I hear what you're saying when you're like, you know what, if to have somebody behind the brand is the connection. I can't tell you how many times, you know, I'll be at the gym or something and, you know, I'm probably hitting an arm workout. And before the guy will walk up to me and say, hey, you know, give me whatever kind of, hey, do you have tips? It'll be like a stare down. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, you know what I mean? Because guys are just that way. Like we're kind of like, I guess we're more, I don't even know what the word is, but women are not like that. Women are just automatically connect to each other and kind of understand this unspoken language. It's the weirdest thing, but it's also really cool.
We do have an unspoken language. Yes, that intuition is definitely key for us.
That's the word. Yeah, intuition.
Yes, intuition is our key. But we have moments like you guys too. But again, you have to be like I would like to say a master salesman, because this again comes into play. You know, you have to know that when a person is looking at you, what are they really looking at? You know, or what are they really trying to figure out? Maybe they're admiring you, you know? Maybe they're like, oh,
insecure?
Well, his sneakers are really nice, or his workout outfit is nice, you know, or his biceps is working, you know. So you kind of really have to kind of get out of, because a lot of people facial expressions too don't match how they're really thinking, you know. Sometimes you see that weird look on their face and you're like, oh my God, they're so mean. Meanwhile, they're the nicest person. As soon as you speak to them, they're like, oh my God, I love you, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. So you just have to know how to tap in.
Yeah, you got that. You definitely got that mastered. So how do you get your products to people across the world? Like, what is that process like for you?
Oh, I wake up really early in the morning and then I just start doing, you know, I work on a computer, I get everything kind of like inventory set up, and then I just go to the post office like the rest of the world, you know?
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
So for now, I'm actually, you know, doing it myself, and I'm writing out personal thank you cards and things of that nature to kind of really have people feel me, you know, and really understand that I appreciate them supporting the brand and supporting me, you know, and just, you know, I just enjoy that process right now.
Love it. I think of Jeff Bezos when he started out. He says, you know, he was literally going to the post office himself. Dropping stuff off, just like you're saying now. So
I have my girls at my post office. They're amazing. We love each other. I give them products too.
Nice.
You know, because it's like you have to make these, you have to do these things. You have to know how the operation works, so you have to touch in. I always tell people, like, when you work for a business, it's just not the shiny portion of the business you handle. You have to know how that bathroom works. You have to know how the register works. You have to know how the light fixtures are gonna, when they go out, how you're gonna fix those. Like, you need to know every piece of the operation in order to be successful.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You're 100% right, too. You're 100% right. You got to know all moving parts of the operation, because you never know where you're going to have to just get in there and make some changes, right?
Yeah, and most of the time you have to get in there,
Yeah, for sure. And you're not afraid to. You're not afraid to get in there, right?
No.
What does it look like for you 3-5 years from now? Hawa Cosmetics, 3-5 years. You already figured this thing out. I think you probably had like a little crystal ball, and you're like, you know what? This brick and mortar, I don't need it. I don't need it. Everything is going to go virtual anyways. Let me just go ahead and do that, right? And so that's what you did, right? You had some insight. Really, what your crystal ball is called insight, right? You had enough experience to say, I know I don't need this brick and mortar. Let me go virtual, which you did.
Right.
What does it look like for you 3 to 5 years from now, would you say?
Well, I'm really, I mean, the way things have taken off, even within the last month, like I think it's less than a month. It's less than a month, and things are really showing good. It's really, really doing what I couldn't have even expected, honestly. So hopefully, I mean, my name will be known, like the brand will be known, and and I will be touching many lives across the world.
Yeah. Do you think places like, I think of Sephora or other ones where women will walk in and get that, they
experience?
They get that's the word, experience, right? Do you think it's gonna fade out because everything is kind of being virtual now?
I don't want to take away from that, because I love the idea of tapping into women and really being one-on-one with women. So I would never want to take away from that, but I do believe that you don't have to have it in order to experience it,
Right.
But I would love to see all the stores grow again the way they were, but it looks like, things are not promised,
Right.
So the way things are going. So I think if you have some stores, then that's good, so people get to really know who the individual is behind the brand, that's always good. But you could always find locations for that as well. So, pop-up shops and things of that nature. And today you're collaborating with people, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of individuals don't know collaboration is the key, especially today.
Right.
Today is not just about you. You know what I'm saying? Today is about me and you, and what can we do together to make this a better kind of unit. We don't have to be together forever, but what can we do that's fresh right now that's going to be an exclusive pop off,
Love it. Yeah, you're 100% right. I've been saying that for the longest. That's really one of the reasons I love doing these podcasts, right? Because it's collaborative, to cross promote each other, right?
Yes.
Create that referral based business. You know what I mean? Where you just have people in your circumference that you like, you trust these people, and you want to do business with them repeatedly, right? So you're right on the money, right? Let's play a little game.
Okay,
It's called the hands down lightning round. Okay.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you 3 topics. You let me know your opinion, your bottom line about these topics. If you don't like the topic, go ahead and say pass, and I move on to the next one. Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
I might need you to give me an example, so we'll see.
Oh, here we go.
Let's see how I do with the first one.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Baseball. Just super random, all right? Baseball. New York Yankees or the New York Mets? For me, New York Yankees, hands down. Why? 27. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
27 championships. I don't even watch baseball anymore.
Right. Okay.
But that's just like an example, all right?
Okay.
Favorite Chadwick Boseman movie of all time?
Oh, Black Panther.
Black Panther?
I mean, it made a huge impact on everyone,
Yeah. I recently just watched Jackie Robinson movie, the one he did about Jackie Robinson. It's an amazing
Nice.
movie. The guy's he's just natural. I felt that pain.
You felt it,
I
huh?
felt it. He's that good, right? So rest in peace,
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman.
He's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah. Okay, so you said Black Panther, right? Hands down.
Yeah.
Second topic. When it comes to digitizing your business and being virtual, do you think that being on social media should replace the brick and mortars, or having an online business to replace the brick and mortars, or should it be an additional tier to a business?
It should be additional tier.
Okay.
Yeah. Additional tier. I go for that.
Okay. And finally, number 3, because you are 5'4" and you're a model, right?
Okay.
You are, right?
Yeah.
What would you say to young women who feel like, you know, they're not meeting the the typical image or that portrayal of what a model should be? What would you say? Should they just quit, or should they continue to go after whatever it is, modeling, sales, whatever their passion is? What would you say to them?
I say go for it if you're passionate about it, because no matter what you look like, it's really the inside that shines, you know? So somebody's gonna see that shine,
Right.
and you will be placed in positions that you probably wouldn't even dream of, you know? So always go with your passion, always. First and foremost, passion.
Passion. Yeah. Yeah.
Passion, because it becomes effortless. Everything is effortless after that. Now you're just working off pure joy.
Yep.
So go with passion, and if you don't have a passion, find one.
Right.
You know,
Right.
find one. If it's even if it's just like flipping burgers, I don't know what to say. What could be a
Do it
passion?
passionately.
If it's just doing, you know, when you think about it, someone
Right.
doing eyebrows, they
Right.
like you do right now. You have the microblading.
Mm.
This is not a $5 eyebrow session. You know what I'm saying? So you
Right.
could really do so much with something so little. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Something
Right.
so little can be so grand. So you just find your niche in whatever it is that you want to do, and just be great at that.
Be great at that. Okay. And okay, so that's amazing. I think that's perfect right there. And the last thing is your bottom line, right?
Mhm.
What is your bottom line? That reoccurring truth for you that no matter what, any setback, anything that may not be in your favor for that day, you use this reoccurring truth to push yourself forward. What is that for you? What is your bottom line?
My bottom line is always in my head that everything is going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is going to be okay. I don't really have, like, it's weird because whatever I set forth to push for, it usually works, but maybe because it's my mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my mind is already there. So it's almost like I've kind of done it,
Right.
you know?
Right.
I've kind of placed myself in a position already. It's really odd to say. It's if you're not like really into self, you probably may not get what I'm saying,
Mhm.
you know? So you have to be really in tuned and with yourself to understand that when you believe in something, you just stick with what you believe and you'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's profound. I like that. So when you said that, what it made me think of was like act as if, right? Like,
Act as if, absolutely. Yeah. You are definitely on point with that.
Yeah, that's how I felt when you said that. Just if
Mm-hmm.
you see yourself in that success, you're already there.
Say it again.
Yeah,
Say
right.
it again.
It's just maintaining it, right? It's maintaining
Yeah.
that level of success that you already see yourself at, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I get from you when I hear you say that.
Right. And then if you ever have any type of like negative talk in your mind, because that's where it comes from most of the time. If you are focused, you know, if you're focused, that the only thing that can kind of penetrate usually is a family member or your own self. And it's usually your own self that poisons yourself, you know? Yeah. So you kind of just want to make sure you have your good motivational, like, what do you call this? Affirmations, you know? I live for affirmations. I live for them, you know? So as soon as I like something comes to mind, maybe I'm like, no, this is yours. Go get it.
Go get
Do it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Love it.
you've done it before. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've done it before, you can do it again, you know? And how I knew that I would come out with Hawa Cosmetics again, I would always see Hawaii, which was funny.
Hawaii.
The word Hawaii, like Hawaii, I would see Hawaii everywhere, which meant Hawa number 2. So it's
Really?
coming again. Yeah, in my head, it meant Hawa number 2, but I was just waiting for the time. So I never really I didn't really have a planned out date or a planned out time, or
Your
even
association is off the hook. Wow.
It's really kind of crazy how I think. I'm an Aquarius. Just to kind of let you know. So I'm very like, I'm in the air a lot, but you know, I love how I used to see these signals, and I would see little messages, and I would be like, okay, it's coming, but
you're seeking it out. You're looking. What's interesting too is your name, right? So you said that your name, Hawa, means mother of all creator, mother of all.
Yes, it means Eve, mother of all creation.
All right. So I mean, that's you've already been predestined for the level of success that you're pursuing right now.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Right? That's what I'm hearing you say, anyways, right? And I think that that's consistent with how you decided to focus on everyone, not singling out anybody, any kind of customer or target demographic. You said, I can service anyone, and the more challenging they are, the more of an opportunity is for me, right? That's what I'm hearing. And the fact that you didn't let, and I'm just like wrapping it up because this is what I'm getting from you. The fact that you didn't let your height stop you from pursuing your dream of being a model, and somebody saw you out and said, no, you're the real deal, come with me, right? That didn't stop you. Your height didn't stop you. And the fact that you've worked within so many, high profile, high customer or high client base places, and you still decided to start your own product line, means that you were not afraid of making that transition, right? And pursuing your level of fulfillment or happiness, right? That sounds like that's what matters to you, right? Having a sense of fulfillment, right?
Well, a sense of fulfillment, especially at this time, because when you think about it, you have teenagers that are out there literally doing what they love, and they are very, they're very successful at it.
Yeah.
They took a chance on themselves. Why not invest in yourself if you are going to, do this,
Right.
So investing in yourself is really important. Self-help, pouring into yourself, spoiling yourself, telling yourself you're beautiful. Like, these things are important. These are key elements for an individual to be grounded,
Yeah.
And once individuals realize that of course we all need our moving parts, because not everybody can be the boss. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you have everybody that masters their own thing. So, okay, you are the master interviewer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to try to interview myself. I need you, So everybody has their own position in which they work, and it's going to work effectively,
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like you said, everything is going to be okay.
Yeah, everything will be okay, because just realize all the things that we've been through where we got really nervous. And once we got through it, it was like, what was I nervous about? That's crazy. I had the best time of my life, and, and I would do it again, so it's like, just have no fear and just get it done,
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Thanks for taking the time, Hawa.
Thank you, Jacques, for I love your questions. You are awesome at what you do. You've made me feel so comfortable, I felt like I was like at home talking to my brother, you know?
Good. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Just listening to you talk, I know that we inspired a lot of people, and I hope that we continue to inspire a lot of people. I know on your platform, the reason I reached out is because I got that sense that that's what your true intent is, to bring the best out of people. So thanks so much for taking the time, just to break down your secret sauce, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
And to, sharing your bottom line with us. The whole idea is for us to inspire more hope during these times, right? Hawa, where do people find you?
Well, right now, you can find me on my IG page. So that's Hawa Cosmetics _333. And then I have a Facebook page that's Hawa Abdul. So it's the HAWA Abdul. And my website is under construction at the moment. Maybe it actually, by the time we're done, it'll be like finished. And that is Hawa Cosmetics, www.hawa-cosmetics.com.
Nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was the Bottom Line Podcast today with Miss Hawa Abdul of Hawa Cosmetics. Right. So again, thanks for taking the time, Hawa.
Thank you.
This was the Bottom Line.
Yes.
We say what we mean, and we mean what we say, because at the core of everything that is, was, and forever will be, there will always be the bottom line.
Bottom line.